What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. I'm switching up the review a little bit. Don't have the green screen today. It's just me and this simple little homely background. Today we are talking about Blade Runner 2049, one of my most anticipated movies of the year. So Blade Runner 2049 is directed by Denis Villeneuve, one of my favorite filmmakers working today. He is slowly moving his way up the tent pole for me. He is right now my second favorite in his prime behind Christopher Nolan, and it stars Ryan Gosling and, of course, Harrison Ford. Now, the original Blade Runner is something that I had to watch multiple times before I appreciated it. I watched the original version. I didn't love it. I watched the director's cut. I'm like, okay, that's better. And like everyone else and their grandmother, I watched the final cut and I acknowledge how masterful that movie is and how much it changed. You watch that movie now, you're like, okay, I've seen this before, I've seen that before, that aspect of movies. No, you've seen those things before because of this movie. This was the OG, the original. It is like what Halloween was to the horror genre, or what Ferris Bueller was to a coming-of-age story. I mean, that's what Blade Runner was to sci-fi. It's not my personal favorite sci-fi movie ever made, but in my opinion, it is a flawed masterpiece. It's not a perfect movie. It's not a watch for people who love upbeat, fast-paced, action-packed movies. And I'm just going to warn you right now, I'm not really getting into this movie at all. I'm not spoiling anything for you. I don't want to spoil anything for you. I'm going to talk about how much I enjoyed it and not tell you anything else. I'm going to tell you the good, I'm going to tell you the bad, and then I'm going to give you guys my score. Here we go. I have not been moved by a movie that much all year. I mean, that was an incredible experience in the filmmaking, the cinematography, the editing, the sound design. Every single aspect of this movie technically was absolutely flawless. It was a beautiful achievement to look at, and I think that is one of the many reasons why this movie is going to be remembered for a long, long time. I even had to use the bathroom, and I'm one of those guys, when I have to pee, I gotta do it now. I could not find a time where I could leave the film, and it's almost a 3-hour movie. I was so invested in this film. It's incredible what Denis Villeneuve could do with a movie like this. The movie starts off, boom, you're in it. Every time you think the movie is slowing down, boom, something happens. Sure, it's not your everyman's technical achievement, the big explosions, the action, the Michael Bay-isms. It's not that kind of movie. This is the biggest budgeted independent film I have ever seen, because that's what it felt like to me. It felt like an independent movie with incredible visuals, awesome acting, and flawless directing. That's what this movie felt like. Sure, there's some cliches in there. There's some sci-fi things we've seen before. We have seen elements of the story before, but we have never seen them interwoven like this, with this kind of just brilliance on screen. This 100% will not be everyone's cup of tea. Like I said, this movie slows down at parts, but I believe a lot of this is necessary to carry out the dialogue that it needs to carry out, and carry out some exposition that I didn't love. I'm going to save that for the negatives, but I really think a lot of the things that a lot of people aren't going to like was necessary to tell this story. Sound design, score, cinematography, 3 things that must be nominated for an Oscar. Now, I can see how some people aren't going to like the score to this movie. It's very loud, it's very obnoxious, it's in your face. Personally, I love that. I love being in a theater. I love my seat rattling and my ears. I know a lot of people don't enjoy that, and that's going to be some people's flaws with this movie. Not for me. That's something that I love. I love going into a movie and being encapsulated, and that's exactly what this film did. And the performances are absolutely brilliant. I mean, Ryan Gosling, he has slowly turned into one of my top 5, top 3 favorite actors working today. The guy is just genius. Last year, after La La Land and The Nice Guys, killed it once again with Blade Runner 2049, and then of course his chemistry with Harrison Ford, seeing those two guys together on screen was absolutely great. Even though he really doesn't come into the movie until a little bit later, that's fine. I loved it. I was very emotional when this movie was over. I had tears whelping up in my eyes. I was just done for, man. This movie got to me. I wanted to just sit there while the credits were rolling. It was crazy. I have never been, and it's not even that I was so emotionally moved with the story, because I was, but it was more along the lines of, this was just, I had watched something special, and I'm definitely watching this again. Okay, now, no movie is perfect, and regardless of how incredible of a score that I give it, it's not going to be this flawless masterpiece. There are a couple of expositional scenes here and there I thought could have been trimmed down. Both times I was like, okay, I don't know if we needed that. One scene where I don't think the visuals measured up, and of course, the typical cliched, oh, their mouths are moving, but it's an obvious voiceover happening because I'm paying really close attention, yet the words aren't matching up with the lips. I noticed that in every movie, but that scene was pretty like, okay, you've done so good this far. Why do that? But can I tell you something? It didn't take me out of the movie at all. Even the scenes where I felt uncomfortable, because there are some uncomfortable scenes in this movie, but it still fits. It still works within the context of where he lives. It works within the context of the story that it is telling. Everything in here I was so invested. But like I said, guys, this review has to be a little bit different. I can't hit on any specifics here. I gave you my good, I gave you my bad. Let's give you my score. I cannot believe I am about to do this. I watched Logan earlier in the year, and I gave it, I believe, a 97. I have since upped my score to 100 because I've watched the movie 8 times, and I do believe it's one of the greatest superhero films of all time. I ain't pulling any punches here. I'm going 100% for Blade Runner 2049. 100%. I love this movie. I think it's incredible. I think I might like it better than the original Blade Runner, and I cannot believe I'm saying that. I know there are going to be people who don't like this movie. That is absolutely fine, but to me, the experience that I had inside the theater and just the way that I feel about this movie is incredible. It is one of, if not my favorite movie of the year. It's going to be a very close race between this and Logan. So that's it. What did you guys think of Blade Runner 2049? Be sure to comment your thoughts below. Love to just see what you guys think about it, because I'm trying to stay away from all the reviews right now. Now's the point to where I can go watch them. Thank you guys for commenting, liking, and subscribing. Let me know what you want me to review next. Tomorrow, I'm going to the theater very early to watch some movies, so hopefully I'll have some more reviews for you guys. You are the absolute best, and I will catch you later.